Hello, friend.
3, 2, 1!
Let's go.
Happy Gilmore 2. Happy Gilmore 2 picks up years after the original film. Stepping away from professional golf for a while, Happy finds himself struggling financially, especially as he wants to provide the best for his young daughter who dreams of becoming a ballerina. Determined to support her ballet schooling, Happy decides to return to the competitive world of professional golf. However, things have changed since his last run. The game is more serious, the players more polished, and the stakes higher. Despite this, Happy relies on his signature wild swings, humor, and relentless determination to fight his way back up the ranks. Throughout the film, Happy reconnects with old friends and rivals who add both tension and comic relief. With plenty of slapstick moments, heartfelt scenes, and nostalgic callbacks, the film offers a fun, feel-good journey for fans, old materialists.
You know how to do the math, don't you?
Materialists is a sharp and thoughtful romantic drama that explores the complexities of modern love. It centers on Lucy, a successful New York City matchmaker who is deeply immersed in the business of pairing clients based on their social and financial status as much as their emotional compatibility. As a wealthy newcomer who seems to offer stability and success, and her flawed yet familiar ex-partner whose connection with her is more complicated but emotionally resonant. This love triangle becomes the lens through which the film examines how contemporary romance often involves subtle negotiations of power, consent, and desire. The film does not shy away from portraying the transactional side of dating, highlighting how material considerations, societal expectations, and personal insecurities influence romantic choices. Blood Brothers, Baranaga. Blood elite bodyguards for Dato Zul, a powerful crime boss heading the feared Naga syndicate. Bound by a sacred blood brotherhood, Arif and Gaz share an unshakable loyalty forged through hardship and violence. Zul's criminal enterprise, Arif is suddenly accused of masterminding the attack. Fiercely loyal Arif insists he is innocent, but his boss and partners believe he has turned traitor. With no one else to trust, Arif is forced to flee Kuala Lumpur to clear his name and survive. He reaches out to his estranged younger brother Jackie, whom he abandoned years before, asking for shelter and help. Meanwhile, Gaz mobilizes their former comrades, the very blood brothers who swore loyalty, to capture Arif at any cost. Until Dawn. Until Dawn is a tense, atmospheric horror story set in the isolated wilderness of Blackwood Pines. A nation surrounded by dense forests and long-abandoned mines is as beautiful as it is unsettling, steeped in rumors of past tragedies and unexplained disappearances. Very soon, the group realizes they are not alone. Something or someone seems to be watching them, and the line between reality and nightmare begins to blur. The night becomes a relentless test of endurance and trust. With no way to call for help, the characters must navigate the dark, dangerous terrain both inside and outside the lodge. Tensions rise as fear takes hold and personal secrets begin to surface. Their survival depends on cooperation, yet mistrust and panic threaten to tear them apart. The narrative blends multiple strands of horror, psychological, supernatural, and survival, while maintaining an unpredictable, shifting Angry Rescue. Angry Rescue is a Chinese action thriller that martial arts expertise. After a covert mission in South America goes disastrously wrong, Long's been hiding out for 3 years, keeping low while everyone thinks he's guilty. However, when the terrorists strike again, this time abducting a group of prominent scientists critical to global security, Long sees no choice but to come out of hiding. Determined to clear his name and bring the real culprits to justice, he teams up with his old comrade Gao Feng to launch a daring rescue operation. As Long and Gao infiltrate the enemy's stronghold, they face overwhelming odds, engaging in intense hand-to-hand combat and gunfights that blend traditional martial arts with modern gun fu techniques. Hostile Takeover. Find Pete Striker. Hostile Takeover is an action crime thriller that follows Pete, played by Michael Jai White, cold when he works, but he's got this weird habit. He actually goes to Workaholics Anonymous meetings. For him, it's a way to cope with burnout and find a sliver of normalcy in a life soaked with violence. But to his crime syndicate boss, Pete's mysterious absences raise suspicion. When a botched communication leads the organization to believe Pete is planning to betray them, he suddenly finds himself marked for elimination. Overnight, the hunter becomes the hunted. What begins as a normal evening spirals into a high-octane nightmare as wave after wave of assassins descend upon him. The city becomes a sprawling battlefield, from shadowy alleyways to neon-lit nightclubs, each encounter forcing Pete to use every ounce of his skill, cunning, and resourcefulness to survive. Him is a psychological horror film that follows the intense supernatural journey of Cameron Cade. Cameron feels like his dreams are slipping away, so he's really desperate to find a way back to the NFL. His chance comes when he is invited to train under the legendary Isaiah White, a former superstar quarterback who has retreated from the public eye and now lives in a remote, luxurious. Teachings seem unconventional but promising, blending intense physical training with mysterious rituals that promise to unlock untapped potential. However, as Cameron dives deeper into Isaiah's world, he quickly discovers that the price of greatness might be far darker and more sinister than he imagined. The secluded estate is more than just a training facility. It becomes a psychological labyrinth where Cameron confronts his fears, desires, and the corrosive effects of fame and ambition. Never a Thief. Never a Thief is a Chinese action crime thriller that follows Zhao Ji, which is the attention of the charismatic yet calculating leader of a high-profile gang that specializes in stealing priceless cultural relics. Tempted by money and wanting a job is pretty straightforward. He just uses his unmatched skills to get past the toughest locks and security systems. Each job pushes him further into the gang's inner circle, and his precision earns him the trust of his new companions. Haunted by memories of his father's sudden disappearance years ago, Zhao Ji begins to connect subtle clues from the gang's operations to his family's Omniscient Reader, The Prefacy. Omniscient Reader is a live-action film adaptation of the popular Korean web novel. The story follows Kim Dokja, an world. For over a decade, he's been its sole reader, intimately familiar with every twist, character, and outcome. One evening, suddenly the events of the novel started to happen in real life. The skies darken, monstrous creatures emerge, and the mysterious events described in the story begin to force humanity into deadly survival games, controlled by powerful beings. Amid the chaos, Dokja encounters Yoo Jung-yuk, the novel's protagonist, and an unmatched fighter who has lived through countless regressions, repeating the world's destruction over and over in search of victory. While Jung-hyuk follows his own mission, Dokja's unique advantage is his complete knowledge of the novel's plot, characters, and hidden danger. A Knight's War.
Sacrificing themselves.
A Knight's War is a dark fantasy that blends medieval sword and sorcery with horror elements. The story follows Bodhi, a noble paladin on a perilous quest to save humanity from an ancient evil. Set in a dark fantasy realm rife with witches, demons, and cursed landscapes, Bodhi must rescue Avalon. A mission is daunting. Bodhi needs to collect 3 magical stones scattered across dangerous territories. Each stone holds immense power, necessary to defeat the encroaching darkness. However, the quest is complicated by the sinister forces guarding these relics and the deadly traps laid across the cursed lands. Adding a unique twist, Bodhi and Avalon possess magical talismans granted by a demon named the Keeper. The film balances intense action sequences with moments of character development and world building, immersing viewers in a richly detailed fantasy and